Hi everyone, it's me Isa Please and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be giving you an exclusive tour inside the RRG Poultry Farm, which is a chicken growing facility, and inside they raise over 80,000 chickens that are really raised to go from farm to table. There are only actually two types of buildings like this in the Philippines, and we are number two, so we're going to show you guys inside. Now, the reason why I'm able to show you this is because my husband currently works here, and we are so fortunate enough to be able to visit him. So, and I'm also allowed to vlog parts of this. So, we're here right now, and I cannot wait to show you. So before I take you guys inside, I'm going to show you outside. But don't forget, if you haven't yet, please do like, subscribe, and follow me on my socials. So safety, security, and sanitation are very important here at RRG Poultry Farm. So what happens is everyone who enters the facility is required to have a spray down, especially for their wheels, if you're riding cars, and if you are an outsider and you are going to enter the facilities or the building, then you are required to take a bath. So we do have communal bathrooms and private bathrooms for everyone to use. There are different facilities around here. So right here is the Lantay area. I don't actually know what the English term of this is. Basically, it's like a place where the loaders or the harvesters will stay. Typically, when you're a loader, you're a harvester, you don't really live here, so they can just take a nap there. But then right now, the staff are staying there, and we also have the suppliers who are currently living in the bunkhouse, and I guess the staff just like to stay here. So Papa and I were talking yesterday, and then he said, "Oh, we're just gonna build a couple more facilities here, and then we're gonna add another bunkhouse closer to the building so that the staff won't have to like sleep outside." Behind me are the two huge ass transformers. So one thing about this building is that it is more or less, like, I would say 80% automated. When I spoke to my father-in-law, he did mention that the only things that are not automatic about this building are the switching of the power supplies or power sources. Before, in other buildings or other facilities, they usually have it automatic. But in our case, I guess there was an instance before he did mention he didn't like it. There were deaths, so they decided to just switch the generators and the power supply manually. So two huge generators, and they do get pretty loud. This is my son's favorite spot. We have an excavator. So there is an excavator in this area because well, we'll talk about it soon, maybe in another video, but an excavator is essential, especially in a setup like this, especially when you're dealing with like chicken poop and oops, mostly chicken. Okay, everyone, we have made it to the back of the building. So as you can see, excavator is there, transformer room is there. So I walked all the way here to the back, and behind me is what my son and I like to call a spaceship because it really does resemble a spaceship, or I would think like a jetpack, maybe, whatever. Anyways, we call it the spaceship, but this is actually a food silo. This is where all the chicken feeds go. So it is pretty huge. This whole thing holds the food that eventually goes inside where the chicks are and feeds them. Because this is the very first grow, the suppliers of this building and the facility, because this is prefabricated, suppliers are here for at least two grows, and they are currently residing in the bunkhouse. And they could have shared the facilities with the boys, but then like they just wanted to kind of separate themselves. So right now that they're there, that's the bunkhouse. I don't want to walk up there because it's private. Like, I don't want to invade their privacy. So it's up there. And then we also have another, we have this one here too. That's what I'm talking about. Another like watchtower thing. So this place is pretty secure. If you're wondering about that area, pang-pang na siya, guys. What's pang-pang? It's like a cliff. So you can't just like climb up or climb down. It's actually pretty dangerous. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you guys how the food gets to the silo in within my best capacity. So there is a harvest room where where the feeds are fed into the Murshag. It's like a big tank where the food will be sent through this pipe all the way up to the silo, and then after that, the food will be then sent into the cages through another pipe. And then the food is sent back into the building where they will be stored in these towers before they are distributed into the individual feeders. So as I mentioned earlier, everything in this facility is pretty much sanitary, it's secure. So right before you can enter this area, you are required to number one, take a bath, and number two, to dip your feet in the foot bath. So this is medicated, and all the like mga canals here, they are also medicated. Okay, now we enter the room. Dun, 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 dun. We are currently inside the control room, and nag-vlog-vlog bitaw ko, and silang kuyas are sleeping, so I won't show them. But this is the control room, and as you can see, here at the side, we have the feeds. There's a cricket in here, huh? Everything can pretty much be controlled by this machine over here. There are different controls, whether it's food, water, temperature. I don't know how it works, unfortunately, but I know that every time there is a problem or if they're trying to fix something or figure something out, they will always look at this big machine. I've never seen them open it, but I wonder what's inside. Now it's finally time to go inside the chicken house. Come on, let's go. Walk through here. There's another door, and you finally enter the chicken. Everyone, now I am inside the chicken farm or inside the chicken. I don't know what you call this area, Bito. I just call it where the chicken nuggets are, and you can see that they are here. Some of them are sleeping, some of them are eating, and some of them are drinking, and that's basically what they do for the entirety of their lifespan. There are 5 rows. I don't know, columns, rows. There basta 5 siya kabuok. And then they have like 1, 2, 3, 4 layers each. Or 4 rows, 4 columns. So sa 5 by 4 siya, okay? And inside each of the cages, there are about 100 chicks inside, or chickens. I say about 100 because initially they do estimate to load each cage with 100, but throughout the entirety of their growth, chickens do die. Like some of them don't make it. So more or less 100 na lang siya. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys the thing I was showing you earlier about like the whole food silo. So let me give you a better visual of where it goes. So what I mentioned earlier is they all about like the food from the food silo. If you see this pipe right here, that's where the food will go, and then they go straight into that feeder. It is pretty much like automated. When a feeder is out of food, it automatically will be filled up by the feeder or like the sensor na basta. That's how it works. And then we also have the water. So that's water. Initially, I thought that water will be filled up all the time, but no, because that's gonna stimulate like growth of bacteria and stuff like that. So the chickens are they eventually learn that there's like supposed to tuhik it or like peck at it, and then the water will just like come out. Let's talk about poop right now. So, okay, I hope they kumulipangan. Speaking of, let me just move it a little bit. So, another really cool thing about this place is that if you notice, the cages or the flooring of the cages are plastic. The flooring is designed that way because every time a chicken will poop, it'll ideally go down into this area, the poop tray, and then during certain times of the day, I believe they do it like twice a day now because the chickens are getting pretty big. When they were little, they would do it like every other day, but because they are a little bit bigger, now they have to do it like twice a day. So these are actually conveyor belts. So they will just go, and then the poop will be sent into this conveyor belt, and that will then lead to the outside area. And then they land in the truck, and then the poop is brought outside within the vicinity or like the land gihapon, and it is dug up there. Now currently, if you guys like want to buy or like want the chicken poop, I know that like if you come here and message me, you can get it for free, or we could give you like a pretty good price for it. Maybe I think like there's a workaround, like maybe you just pay for the sacks or something. It depends. But so that's what my mother-in-law was. So this is basically what each and every row looks like. It's really just an endless row of chicks and chickens. Right now, I believe we are in phase 3 of the growing process. So they're no longer chicks. They're not chickens either. They're not full grown, but they do have the elements of chick so they have like the feathers already, and they do have the crowns, and I like to call them teenage chickens. They're basically teenagers right now. You're not allowed to touch the chickens, you're not allowed to play with them, you're really just allowed to observe them. So I've not really touched them. I just really look at them and I interact with them. I try to talk to them. I sing for them. Sometimes we'll dance even. But basically, for the most part, we're just here to observe and make sure that they're living a very comfortable life within the life that they are given. They serve a very important purpose. This is really just like the circle of life. And, being able to see the conditions that they live in, it's like, they got to live in a condo before serving their purpose. So it's good. It's very cool in here. The first phase is usually pretty warm because it's like after the incubation phase. It's like the middle ground between being in the egg and outside world. And then now as they're teenagers, it's cooler. So if you notice the chickens, the teenagers, they don't really have that many feathers. I guess the environment here doesn't necessarily stimulate feather growth. So this is basically it, and I don't know what else to show you guys about it, but so many things happen inside this farm or inside this building that are just so amazing. It's so nice to be able to see the whole process of how chickens are raised, and especially in a facility like this, we are ahead of schedule because we suppose that maybe it's the building because it is so conducive to growing and letting the chickens grow, and that's probably why the chickens are a lot bigger than they're supposed to be. I know that they are super overweight. Hi, lovies. I wish I could touch them. I wish I could play with them, but we don't want to do that. The morning routine coming up, but because yeah, they do have their routines, but we have this thing. I don't know what you call this with Marisha. You know what I call it? I call it the Beyoncenator. I can like honestly, I really want to have like a Taylor Swift Beyonce moment here. Can you just imagine like I'm dancing on top for a TikTok video? My husband said I could do that. So I just need to think of I have to find the guts to do it, honestly, guys, because I don't have my videographer here. It's just me, and I don't want to ask the kuyas to be pulling it. I sure as heck don't want to ask my husband to do it because he's so busy. But we might have a moment on the moving platform. I guess that's what you call it, no? So yeah, okay, let's go outside. Oh yeah, wait, one thing I forgot to show you, Pagidi, guys. So, like I said, this place is fully automated. So there are like several temperature checkers, thermometers, I guess is what you call it, no, around the area. And every single time, like the temperature will get too hot, then we have ventilators or air ducts, fans. Why am I trying to make up words that I don't know? Basta. They're like huge ass fans at the side of the building, and they will automatically open, and then like it'll fan them, and also like the poop air will go outside of the building, and we end up smelling it because it is directly across our office or where we're staying basically. Look at this chicken. Hi babe. So as you can see, it automatically opened. I don't know if you guys can actually see that, but it opened and there are feathers flying around. So yeah, that's that. I did not know though there was a harvest room, so this is brand new to me. But apparently it was here the whole time, and it was in the plain sight. But yeah, Broiler. So come back next week because we'll be harvesting the chickens, the very first girl. I'm very excited to see them. So yeah, they're basically just preparing for it. I hope you guys like this video. I have been wanting to do this for you guys for such a long time. Again, this is the second facility in the Philippines, like with a building like this. There are obviously other growers, but this is the second building of this type, nga murag with the whole like feeding system, the water system, the whole cages and stuff like that. And so far, so good. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess this is the end. Don't forget to follow me on my socials. I'm Issa Please everywhere, and I hope that you guys like this. Bye. Chicken nuggets. Is that what we're really calling ourselves? Chicken nuggets? That's wild. Okay, bye.